Hi, welcome to the January 2018 Spectacular Entrepreneur Show. I am Nanette Polito, your host. I am a franchisee owner here in the greater Cincinnati, Northern Kentucky area, and we are so happy to have you on for this show this year. We have a great series we're going to be doing. It's called the Better Business Owners Series. You're going to get some great content. We have read all of your emails that you have sent us, and we have compiled information based on what you have been asking for, and that's what this series is all about. So please, this is the first one, and today we're going to talk about, do you know what your job is? And with me, I have Mike Macedonio and Dawn Lyons, which I hope you can see over there, and I'll tell you a little bit about them in a minute. But I want to remind you, this show is for you, and this is an interactive show. So please get your questions in live for you, so that way you're walking away today with the information that you really came to get. So please get them in there, and I will make sure that Dawn and Mike get those questions so they can answer them for you. So let me just tell you a little bit about Dawn and Mike. They are both co-franchisee owners, and actually they founded Asentiv, which is absolutely an amazing organization. Mike actually started it from a small business. I always like to use Ivan's in a garage. And he has grown it into, along with Don, Ivan, and Eddie Esposito, into a worldwide company. And so he knows what he's doing. He knows all about business people and business people's aches and pains. And that's why he's always awesome for this show. And then we have Dawn Lyons. Dawn is amazing. She wants everyone to truly believe and believe in themselves, because we should. She is a best-selling author, New York Times best-selling author, and also she is a speaker. She has spoken all over this world in crowds 500 plus. So if you need a speaker, she is your person. And the other thing is, if you're ever with Dawn, Dawn loves to hang out with big cats. And I don't mean like, big kitty cats. I'm talking big cats, like game preserve cats. And she really helps save them. So if you're alone with her and you want to just talk to her, she will talk to you for hours about her cats. She has great stories. So with that, we're going to get right into our show today about how you can be a better business owner. So with that, Mike and Dawn, thanks for being here today.
No, it's a pleasure. Thank you, Nanette. Thank you for, again, organizing this show. Today's conversation about being a better business owner, we'd like to start talking about your passion and your love for what you do. As we know, that is a driving force for the success of any business owner, is to really love what you do and be fueled with passion. I also see many business owners, and particularly budding entrepreneurs, who may be very passionate about what they do in terms of their trade or their service, yet they're not really creating that spectacular business that's serving them in their life. And what I see sometimes as that missing link is not only a passion for what you do, but also a passion
Mike
for
Dawn. Mike, for some reason you're breaking up.
Okay.
I'm not sure what it is, but I know the people out there are probably thinking, I'm not sure why, but you are breaking up.
Okay. Can you hear me okay right now?
I can, no, it just broke up again.
It did break up. Okay.
That's better. You're good right now. Start talking.
Okay. All right. So the passion for the business portion of it is as important as the passion of what you do, because there's components of the business part that support your ability to get to more clients and more customers. And so let's start with one of the core elements of a successful leader and a successful business owner, and that is your vision. Okay, your vision for the business, and also how you can communicate that vision. And I can't think of anyone better to start that conversation than Dawn Lyons.
Excellent, thank you, Mike. So vision is obviously a very important part to any business. And what I think we forget in many cases, and Ed, if you want to move the slides forward for us, in any business, the one thing about vision is we've really got to share the vision. So you might be wondering, well, how do I share it when I'm not even sure what my vision truly is? we'd like to give you some easy content so that you can simply take some time, hopefully as soon as possible. I love the fact that we're in January and you can really get this going for the brand new year here. But when you think about your vision and where you want to be, where you want to go in the next maybe 3 or 5 years, here's some components that you can kind of think about to start to write out that vision. So a couple things about vision. What visions really should do, we hope, is attract other people. Your vision should be attracting those folks that really want to help you build that vision and create that vision. And so when you think about what's attractive, what are people looking for these days? Personally, I think we need a whole lot more inspiration going on in the world today. And so if your vision is inspiring to other people, they're going to want to be a part of that. And so some ways that you can think about how you could be inspiring is, well, how are you celebrating in your business? And it hasn't been since just last night at dinner. We were talking to a client of ours about how they celebrate. And it was funny because he has this thing that he would like to buy. And I was like, well, why not, set a goal and then celebrate with that when you hit the goal? And it was kind of like, oh, is that celebrating life? Is that how you celebrate? And you can celebrate however it works for you, but those could be little milestones that as you're hitting those things, then you're also increasing your lifestyle. So that's one thing about vision. Another thing is that a vision can also unite people together. And when we have commonalities between our business visions and we're working together or we're growing together, those are things that are really powerful to unite a huge team of people, which we're also going to be talking about today. And then probably the last piece on vision is a vision's got to be, a little challenging. A vision shouldn't be something that we can just accomplish tomorrow, and everything's good. So it's got to be a little stretching. It's got to move us out of that comfort zone that we might be in. And again, just bringing more people together. So I'm going to talk about some other components, but Mike, do you have anything to add to that?
No, the question I would ask you, Dawn, is give us examples when you have that vision. How do you get that out? How do you share that? What are those opportunities?
Yeah, that's a really interesting concept because the one thing that I love about vision is you really can share it anywhere and anytime. When people ask you, hey, how's it going? Right, which we get asked that all the time.
Mm-hmm.
It could be, what, it's going fantastic. And actually, I was just thinking about my vision the other day, and I need to put 2 more people on my management team who have a huge heart for helping people succeed in their business. I'm looking for people who are those dynamic presenters, people that want to transform other people. And so I'm really, really excited to get out there and look for those folks. Now, if I said that to you and you were listening and you had some level of relationship with me, do you think that maybe some people might be rolling through your mind of, wow, I might know somebody like that? And it's just a way for us to be able to kind of share with what we're excited about moving forward in our business. So I think remembering that when people ask you, hey, how's it going? Share something future forward about where you want to go, so that they, one, might be attracted to that, or they might also be thinking, wow, I'll help you find somebody like that. That sounds amazing. So I think that's probably the easiest way. Some other options might be to get it up on your website. As people are checking you out and people are reading about you, to share your vision of where you want the company to go. That's another really positive thing. And again, they're going to see where they can kind of fit into that vision. Those are probably the 2 easiest things. And then as you're meeting with folks, just, hey, do you mind if I share a little bit about where I want to go? Anytime we ask for permission, I think people are more inclined to listen better because we really do want to share something with them.
And it's interesting because it's a story.
Yeah.
It's a story of where we'd like to go and what our life is going to look like.
Yep. So a couple other things to think about when kind of compiling that vision. If you look at what you want in your company and kind of who you want to be as a business owner, you've got different components. In Asentiv, we consider our visions to be a 360-degree vision. We want people, no matter where they are in their business or in their life, to be attracted to us in some way, shape, or form. And if you think about it, we can't just have a vision around the numbers. I want to earn X, or I want to create this much revenue. That's only one tiny piece of how the business truly operates. And so what we like to do is we like to have probably anywhere between 6 to 8 different components, just depending upon the type of business that you have. Those will kind of decide some of your components. But think about, what do you want your company to be known for? Like, what is the community saying about your company and your business, right? The other thing that I think we would want to have in there is about the management team. What does that management team look like? What kind of characteristics do these people have? How are you all going to be working together as a team? Is everybody going to have their separate things? Is it very cohesive? How do you all come together? Right? And then obviously a very important part of any business world is your administrative team, and how does that administrative team play a role in keeping everything together and united and taken care of? Then you've obviously got your clients, right? And, going into the new year, who do you really want your clients to be? What do you want them to look like? What do you want them to receive? What do you want them saying about you out there in the community? And then a couple items I think that people completely forget about is, how do you want to give back? You've got companies out there like Zappos that really, really announce how they're giving back, not only to the community, but to the world. How do you want to be viewed in your local area or worldwide of how you give back and contribute to the local community? I also believe, and we talked about it just a second ago, that you do have to celebrate. So how are you celebrating? One of my clients is in IT, and one of the things he would want to do with his staff is everybody gets their birthday off. So that's just one thing that he wants to do. And then the day before, that the whole office is going to celebrate for like the last half of the day, and celebrate with them. And then the next day they get their birthday off. So that's just a cool little thing that, man, if you were making a decision between 2 IT companies and you knew about that, might be just one of those things that kind of tip you into going with that organization. And then the other thing that we really have to, I think, get into our hearts is, when all of these things happen and my business is running in this way and we're contributing in this way, what does my life look like? Right? Because too many times, if we're out there saying, yeah, we're going to conquer the world and I'm going to own an empire and this is all going to be happening, sometimes our friends might think, oh, great, I'm never going to see you again because you're out there conquering the world. So to let them know that, I want to be doing, for Mike and I, we want to be doing more cooking classes. By the way, we take 10 to 15 of our friends with us when we go do these cooking classes. We want to do more great wine experiences. We don't just go by ourselves. We're taking our friends. So our network, the people that are most important to us, know that we're not going anywhere. That we're still going to be doing amazing things with them. And this is how we want our life to look. So those are some things. If you have a nonprofit organization or things like that, you may need a whole section in your vision around your board of directors, right? Your shareholders, there's some other pieces in there. So just take a look at your overall business and see, all right, if I were to disassemble my entire business and have groups of people or kind of the different departments, if you will, what does each one of those look like? And how can I create that visual picture so that as I'm describing it to people, people will be attracted to that. So I hope that helps. That's several different kind of components of a vision. And if you just kind of put that all in alignment, you can see how you would have a nice document that you want to be looking at every single day. Many of my clients will laminate their vision and put it up in their bathroom or somewhere that they can see it, put it up in their office for the staff and the employees to look at it. somewhere where everybody is seeing it, it's visible, and people can go, oh yeah, we're going here. This is where we're going. And I think that's the intriguing part of all of that.
Yeah. I want to point out also, one of the tools that Dawn also uses is a vision board.
Yeah.
And she was just working on a vision board a couple of weeks ago. Yeah. And as she was dismantling her previous one that she did last year, she says, hey, look at this. We did this. Hey, look at that. We had this, and all of these things that just came. And I think that's the thing you need to understand. What Dawn described in a vision, okay, is going to manifest things in your life, because that's what you're focused on. If you don't have a vision, a few things can happen. First of all, your vision and your direction set which way you're going. And that seems pretty obvious. But when you don't have that big vision, when you don't have that focused vision, when things happen around you, you get distracted and you start going in different directions. As a matter of fact, sometimes the obstacles that show up, and business has obstacles. Nobody expected here in California, Northern California, that we were going to get devastated with firestorms. Well, that's an obstacle to a lot of people's business and lives. Okay, but with a vision, we see that as an obstacle, and we look for ways to get around it, over it, through it, whatever we need to do. Without a vision, those obstacles can literally show up and just eliminate any vision or any direction that we're going, and just completely paralyze us and not be able to move the business not only forward, but not even to survival. So I couldn't agree more that this is one of the major components of a successful leader and a successful business owner, is to really have that clear vision with all of the components that Dawn spoke about.
So we do have a question on this page.
Okay.
So it says, what would you say to this when people around seem inspired and connected to the vision, and they seem to forget it when they get back to their grind and solving their own challenges?
Absolutely. So that's why you need it in front of you on a regular basis. If people are really having challenges with that, then my suggestion is have it in 5 or 6 different places. Okay, and the one thing that we have to remember is that your subconscious will read it, hundreds of times faster than you would read it out loud. So as long as it's simply in front of you and you're seeing it every day, it's going to get into that subconscious brain, and that's kind of where the manifestation will take part, even though you may not be reading it out loud, which, by the way, is the best way to do it. And even if you don't do that, just to have it in multiple places around your home, around your office. At one point, I had a client who, in her car, she had a sticky note attached to her dash, right, with just a couple of key points of her vision on there. So even as she's driving, she had something that was future forward, what she's looking for, what she wants to manifest to her, right, in front of her on a regular basis. So if you have an icky day and challenges are getting tough, go right to your vision.
Make it your wallpaper on your phone.
Yes.
There you go.
Absolutely.
This is where we look a lot, so make it the wallpaper on your phone.
Yep, love that.
Yeah.
Love that.
And I would say you need to even make it more than a habit. Visiting your vision should be a ritual. Okay, and of course the technique with visiting your vision is visualization. Okay, in your mind's eyes, open, close, no matter what you're doing, you can see that vision of where you're going. And I can tell you endless stories about how that's applied in business and life and athletics. I mean, Nanette, I think about you with your recovery right now. Okay, visualizing that healthy mobile lifestyle, okay, is going to accelerate your healing. And you got a lot of work ahead of you, but it's the same things applying. Okay, whether it's a business, physical activity, or a family lifestyle.
Well, I like the fact that the picture you have up there, it's the shining light in front of you. And it's that light bulb that goes on over your head. I mean, that's the appropriate picture, because your vision is your light. And you are walking towards that light all the time.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. That was a great question, though, about, yes, it's done. We can't put it in a drawer. Yeah. We have to be looking at it and utilizing it on a daily basis.
Exactly. Would you like me to go to the next slide?
Yeah, let's talk about the next topic.
Okay.
And again, this goes back to loving your business. And part of loving your business is knowing what all your revenue streams are. Okay, not only knowing what they are, okay, but how they're applying to the success of your company. And I'm going to use a very simple example here. In our business, Asentiv, we have a number of lanes or revenue streams, okay, that our owners use. For example, they have individual coaching. Well, that's a lane. They have group coaching. That's a lane. Okay, they have workshops. Okay, and there are different types of workshops. Many of you may have taken Certified Networker, for example, and that's a robust, long-term business development process as you go through that. But we also have shorter programs like Roomful of Referrals, which within several hours, you learn to communicate on different styles with different style of people. A very successful tool on many levels, whether you're dealing with clients, employees, referral sources, networking. But not only identifying those revenue streams, but also identifying, well, how do they impact your business? For example, I've worked with some people very early on with Asentiv, and they're filling workshops, and they're recognizing that, like, oh, it takes me about 10 hours of marketing to fill a room full of referrals, and it takes me about 10 hours of marketing to fill a certified networker. Now, there's a significant difference in the actual revenue that each of them generate. Mm-hmm. It doesn't make one bad or good, right, but you have to understand what that looks like. So when we look at those revenue streams, we also have to evaluate each of their profitability, each of their amount of resource it's going to take to support each of those. Many times people that are engaged in certified networker, for example, go on to take on additional coaching. Okay, so that's a revenue stream that leads to a revenue stream. Okay, so it's not only about identifying the revenue streams, but seeing how they connect. And in my opinion, when you're creating your business model, okay, you really want them to be complementary. Mm-hmm. Okay, there's a lot of things we can do, sell, produce revenue in our business. Okay, but does it support the business? For example, in your business, if I have an office, could it make sense to sell books? Okay, in some businesses, yes, in other businesses, no. Okay, but in some way, does that sale lead to something else? I just yesterday had a gentleman from Korea contact me about Asentiv. I haven't had any conversations. I'm not doing any marketing in Korea. However, the world's best known marketing secret just got translated and published in Korea.
Oh, cool.
Okay, so this gentleman popped up because of that revenue stream, if you would, books. Okay, also happens to be a PR campaign for us. Right? So understanding your revenue streams. And I'll say one more thing about revenue streams. Sometimes we get so focused on a revenue stream, okay, that we make it the only revenue stream. All right, and sometimes you just need to step back and say, what else can be happening here, particularly if it could be a passive revenue stream, okay, or it could be a sustainable revenue stream. For example, could people buy a membership in what you do? But many people don't think of a chiropractic business as being a membership type of thing, but why not? All right. Okay, we know. I mean, everyone on this that I'm looking at right here, Nanette, my wife, myself, we use chiropractic here, and one thing we know about chiropractic here is it's not one and done. Okay, so there's another revenue stream, okay, that could be a residual possibility. What do you have to add to that?
So I guess maybe to give you an action step, when was the last time that you sat down and actually identified each and every single revenue stream that you have? And then if you were to maybe look back at the past year, can you identify which streams generated what percentage of your overall revenue into the business? And then you might be identifying either some issues, some concerns, or things are working fabulously, or I need to spend more time here, or wow, look at my profit margin on this one versus this one, just like Mike was saying. So I think just the action of sitting down and evaluating it, because think about this. If you were to work with a business coach, it would be one of the very first things they would do with you, right? Is evaluating what money do you have coming in. So the faster you understand that and have a real strong hold on that, Then from there, that whole passion around your business, deciding if, well, I really love this piece, but it brings me the least amount of profit. But if that's what you love, is there somebody else that you could bring on board to do another piece? So there's just opportunities there once you understand your full commitment to your different revenue streams available to you.
Okay. All right. One of the next things we're going to cover is a component of entrepreneurship and leadership, and I call that the wearing the talent scout hat. That no matter where you are, no matter what you're doing, you've just got that talent scout hat on, identifying who could be good talent and good people to bring on board. And that is the topic about recruiting. And Dawn, you've built some big teams in the past. What are some of the key things I need to look at to recruit the right people?
Yeah, so I thought what I'd do is I'd give you my 3 I's to recruiting. So the first I is going to be the word identify. And I think the big thing with that is that you really do want to take a look at who is it that you're looking for? What do you need on your team? Who do you need on your team? What talents, like Mike said, what gifts, what strengths would you love for them to have? So again, if your action item was to just think about this and take 10 minutes, gosh, if I could have people on my team, who are the first people I would want? What's the first thing I would really like to get rid of in my business and give it to somebody that would love to do it? Again, there's people who, we all love different things within our business. And if you're the sole entrepreneur, there are some things that you probably just don't enjoy. So why not kind of let go of those first? So just identifying who you might need on your team. And in the identification process, some things that you're looking for. You're looking for characteristics. What would the characteristics of that person be? What gifts or strengths would they want to have in order to kind of fill that position? What is their attitude about life in general? I have been recently, I would say one thing that I'm adding to my list is, what is their mindset around money? What is their relationship to money? Because how people spend money, save money, earn money, think about money, is work hard, is work easy, is making money exhausting, right? That whole mindset will come into the office in some way, shape, or form. And so kind of understanding their feelings and their thought processes. So that's a new kind of one that I'm adding in, is I'm looking for more people on our team. But I think the big thing is, I'm going to go right back to it, having the vision so that people know where they can join your team. Yep. Because if you don't know that, then they don't know that a team position is available. So identify is going to be the first part. The second one is going to be that inspiring them. I remember just several short years ago, there was a lady that I thought was just amazing. And I went right up to her and I said, you know what? I don't know how it's going to happen, but somehow I want to be working with you. And first of all, she was like, wow, really? And I was like, yeah, like, I don't know what it's going to look like. I really didn't. But I just stated that. And we actually made it happen. So we actually wound up working together just from that one kind of inspirational moment, right? So how could you inspire somebody to want to be on the team? 1, sharing the vision. 2, letting them know that you think they're amazing. Letting them know that, wow, you are so great at this skill. I need somebody like you on my team. Because there's so many people out there that would love to serve in another way, right? It may not be a full-time position with you, but it could be something that you just, you need temporarily, or you need because of an obstacle that you're overcoming, and they're just out there willing to help. So I think the inspiration piece is an important one as well. And then lastly, do the interview, right? So if you can identify them, you can inspire them, they want to be on the team, do the interview and see what you can make happen. I think that too many people nowadays are like, okay, they must be an employee, they must be this, they must work, 22 hours per week. And that doesn't have to be the case. People can work from home, they can work, we just have so many more opportunities than we did even just 15, 20 years ago. Give people some flexibility to be a part of what you're growing and building. and allow them to have their own business or their own thing that they're doing while they're kind of working with you. So people love to kind of multitask, if you will, and they're looking for new challenges and new inspirations. And I believe that when they come on board with you, if they're inspired enough, if they have the right strengths, that it could work out, that then it goes to more of a, wow, more of a collaboration, more of a full-time possibility or something like that. But I just think that we need to make it easier for people to come on board with us.
Yeah. You know, I think like vision, this is something that you should be doing all the time.
Yeah.
Many people, they think about recruiting when they're in need. Well, it's almost a little bit too late.
Yep.
Or what you're going to do is you're going to satisfy that need, but you're not going to bring in the best talent. And this is something that I learned many years ago. My previous career was opening and running restaurants for literally a couple of decades. And I remember very early in my career, it was one of these unique times when I was fully staffed. Okay, and when I was running restaurants and the unemployment rate was really low, it was always recruiting and training, recruiting. I mean, it was almost like I wasn't in the hospitality business. I was in the recruiting and training business. And that's the only way you stayed in business, is to relentlessly recruit and train people. And it's at one point, one of my mentors came and says, you know, how are you looking for staffing? I said, I'm fully staffed. I don't need anybody, which to him meant I wasn't recruiting. And he said, so who are you interviewing? Who are you recruiting? I said, no, I'm all set. I got enough people. And then it was a very, very, very strong message. You are always recruiting. You never stop being a talent scout. You are always recruiting. And I said, but I'm also, he goes, you're always recruiting because you're going to be recruiting for the anticipated turnover. He says, oh, you're recruiting because the people that are out there and the people that you're talking with, okay, are better replacements for your lower qualified people you already have on your team. He says, but you have to always be recruiting and interviewing. And he looked at me and he knew, you know, you're always controlling payroll. He says, even if it means hiring them and getting them a position, okay, even though you don't have the position, you will figure something out. So I think this is, again, just like vision, it's something you're consistently and constantly doing. One other little twist on the recruiting. Many times you may not be recruiting people that are even going to be on your team, but they become part of your database of people with skill sets that you may be able to go to at some point. Okay, so in our world, we call that our support network. Okay, so in that recruiting process, you're identifying skills and traits and talents that people can bring, okay, that you may want to tap into at some point down the road.
So to wrap up that section, your action item would be, can you spend, again, 10 minutes? Again, we don't want to make this overly difficult, right? So we want to make it simple. So if you could just spend 10 minutes, what would be the 3 or 4 things that you would like to get off your plate, right? And who could you recruit? What talent could you find to be able to pull those people on board so that you, again, are upping your level of lifestyle because you're doing more of the things that you love to do. So just take those 10 minutes. What are the first few things that if you could get off your plate, you could, and then get that into your vision and then start sharing your vision so that people know that you're looking for those items.
Okay. All right, so we've talked about loving the business of what you do as well as love what you do. We talked about creating your vision and sharing your vision, how important that is. We talked about your revenue streams, particularly how is the business set up to take in money and serve the company and serve you. And then we talked about recruiting and being a talent scout to build your team. The next thing we're going to talk about is getting help. Now, that might sound like something we've already discussed, but getting help could be in ways that aren't necessarily people coming on your team or working for your company. Okay? Along with outsourcing, which we do a lot of in our business, along with outsourcing, what else do you need help with? And in many cases, when we're asking that question, we may want to put in the context is, what do you need help with outside of the business? All right, I'll give you an example. Over the past several days, we've had a 4-day coaching school for Asentiv coaches. one of the things that we needed to do that was somebody to take care of the animals. Okay, so having, we call it doggy daycare or doggy spa, having somebody, available for us that could do that for us allowed us, to take care of our personal life, taking care of our animals, okay, while we're taking care of business. Okay. Another example is we have what I think everybody should have is we have a Rebecca. And Rebecca is a key person in our company. Now, within our company, she does administrative things. And I'm not going to go through all of those look like, but she supports us in that way, in a way that we wouldn't necessarily have the capacity or the time to do those things. Okay. But what we also talked to Rebecca about doing is, could you also help us in our life? Okay, can you help us in our personal life? And she was like, I'd love to. Whatever I can do to allow you to do the things you do in business and life, she goes, I would love to do it. Give you an example of some of the ways she's shown up to make that happen. My wife loves to decorate for Christmas. Okay, days and days and days of decorating the house, and she can't do it alone. Okay, so she asked us, she's, would you be willing to come in with me and spend the time with me to help decorate? And not only was she willing to do it, she actually enjoyed doing the work with Dawn because she also liked decorating. Yeah. What other things can you think about how we can get our life back? Because look, you gotta agree, because this was my life. Life can be pretty miserable when you're working so hard, all work, whether you love it, to death. You're working all week, only on the weekend to have these part-time jobs called do the laundry, cut the lawn, clean the house, and those lists go on and on. So all you did is went from one job to another. Mm-hmm. How many of those can be, again, taken back, okay, to give you more time to do the things that you love to do?
Mm-hmm. And obviously you've got to look at your cash flow. You've got to understand your numbers in your business and know where you are. And if once a month you can get, some folks to come in and clean up the house, just so that you save yourself 3, 4, 5 hours, and maybe that time is just spent truly relaxing. Can you give yourself that gift once a month? Or how many new clients would you need to be able to do that? So actually kind of to even start setting some goals around, man, these are the things in my life that would just allow me to relax, like truly just love what I do, but have that relaxed, I don't know what to call it. I hope you know what I mean. It's just what?
That moment, that time, because for some people, it's not necessarily a lot of time. It could be just a couple of hours.
Yeah.
Sure.
And I think one of the things I was thinking about too, I think a lot of times people don't do these things because they look at the cost of it when they don't really understand on the other side of it. It really didn't hardly cost them anything, because the payback from that, having someone else do those little things, can be absolutely huge, because it might be in relaxing, which helps you get a clearer mind, which helps you think about the next thing you need to think about in your business, that because you're doing all this other stuff, you never had the time to even think about.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
So you have to look at your own value. What is your hour of work value worth? Then all of a sudden, having someone, and to me, I look at it like this. It's like having someone clean my house. I haven't cleaned my house in years, because my value of cleaning my house, there's no value in that for me. But I can come home to a clean house, which allows me free thinking space in my head, because I'm not worried about that, which allows me to be a little bit more successful in my business.
Absolutely. I totally agree. And it really comes down to understanding where you need your support. And I think this is what Mike is trying to get across here, is just who are the people that can support you in different things. And so it may be, bringing in these outside people, and just figuring out where you need help in your life. And by the way, it doesn't mean that, you're doing horrible in your life. It just means that you've got new and more things, right? So you need new and more help. Going from 1 dog to 2 dogs, I need more help.
Well, and I think sometimes the support you're looking for can be right in your own household.
Yeah.
So I'll give you an example. have back surgery and all of a sudden be told you can't do laundry, you can't unload a dishwasher or load a dishwasher, you can't lift anything over 10 pounds. My husband has discovered a lot of magical things happen in our house. However, I have to say that in some of this, I think the realization is he was like, you've never even asked me to help you with this stuff before. You just made it happen. And so I think sometimes you can find that help you need. Like if you go to your spouse, your children, whatever, and you say to them, hey, I need 2 hours or I need a half an hour. Could you do this for me? Because if I get this half an hour, this is what's going to be the results for you on the other side. I think sometimes your help is closer to you than you really realize. But the problem is we don't ask.
Yeah, so I'll give you a perfect example of that. You know, we have multiple businesses, and within one of our businesses, I have a team of people, and it was in our meeting in December, and I said, look, I said, we've been doing our business for a while now, and I'd really like some new eyes. I'd like some new eyes on the numbers in our business, our growth rate, what's happening, what's not happening. And I literally said, I would like to, you know, have a team of people that would be willing to get more involved in my business. I'm not paying you for this. This is just something I'm asking for help on. And I'm kind of calling them my task force, right? They're going to kind of look at all our numbers in our business and see what they see in our business that we could be doing better, differently, more of, whatever that looks like. I had 8 or 9 people say, yeah, I want to be on the task force. Right? So again, we've just simply got to ask. And by the way, I'm going to be asking them for an hour a month for at least 6 months. You know, and I know none of them will have a problem with that, but I had to ask first.
Right. And it's in our DNA to want to help.
Yeah.
So if we don't ask, they're never going to help us. But if we ask, it's in our DNA. They want to help, just like these people. And part of the thrill of it, Dawn, might be because they get to be around you. So to think, oh my God, I get to spend an hour, you know, I get to spend an hour a month with her. Oh my God, I'm so in. Let me be in.
Thank you. I'll take that.
You're welcome.
You know,
No problem.
Particularly when it's in our skill set. I can remember being with one of my friends. They invited us for a holiday party, and the party had created a lot of stress for them because putting on events and preparing food and having stuff out there, that's not their wheelhouse. Okay, now on the other side of things, what is in his wheelhouse, he can look at a property and design out the landscaping in his sleep. Okay, design it, cost it, project it. I mean, that's stuff he does in his sleep. And I just told him, I said, you know, Dawn and I do this in our sleep. You ever need help with this, putting out a party? We do this all the time. It's not even something we have to, like, I don't say we don't think about it, but it's a completely non-stressful event for us to entertain 20, 30, 40 people.
Right. Yep.
You know, so when certain people have those skill sets and they have the passion, they're willing to help. Well, I know we're coming to the end of our show, so I would like to open this up for any questions you have about any of those topics. When we finish the show, we will be backstage, and then you can ask any question, whether it had anything to do with this topic today. But let's see if there's any questions we can answer before we wrap up today.
Get them on there, folks. We don't have any new ones. I am looking. We do have one. We don't have a question. It's just, I'm not sure who it is, but says, my apologies of having to leave. I am out this evening. I will catch up with you recording. Thank you, Mike and Dawn.
Thank you.
You guys are awesome.
Awesome. Well, let's wrap this up with that, and we'll be looking forward to doing this show again next month.
Yes, we will. But however, folks, I will tell you that Mike is going to be running the show next month because I will be out in the middle of the Caribbean somewhere, relaxing and enjoying and having one of those straw-covered drinks in my hand, which will be well-deserved by that point. So I know they'll do a great job. Now, we have started out. Remember, this is a series. So the next part of the series are, what are the 3 top game changers to running a business? You are not going to want to miss that. I'm going to even hate missing it. I'm going to have to go back and watch the video after. So don't forget the video, Mike. But it's going to be awesome. We are going to help you understand more about your business this year. This is our goal. So make sure you get this on your calendar. You can go in already register for the next one. We want to see you at every show. And if you really enjoy this, tell everyone you know about it and get them on here too. We do want to thank you, Mike and Dawn. I want to thank you very much for being here with us, here with me today. We are going backstage and we're going to go live now. So if you want to ask us anything live on any topic, now's your opportunity. So everyone, have a great month. Go forth and prosper, and we will see you all in February.
Bye, everyone.
Thank you.